Good morning. We are joined by Cerro Coso head basketball coach Chris Dugan. Coach, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations, 100th win. First of all, what does this accolade mean to you?
I think for me, it means a lot in a sense of the amount of hard work we put in,
Uh-huh.
like as a staff and as a program. Um, Very fortunate to have a lot of great players over the years. Taking over the program, 6 years ago,
Mhm.
started in 2018, got the job. 2 weeks into school, I was assistant coach at College of Sequoias. Before that, came in. I think before I got here, they won something like 7 games in 4 years.
Mhm.
So a lot of hard work, a lot of great players, and obviously it's an accomplishment for all the guys that came before me. Players. I'm very fortunate. One of my first year players, Rock Vernon Hardison, he came back to help me as assistant coach. He was here for my first win, so he was here for my 100th win.
Mhm.
I just think hard work, man. We're a small school. Um, we do have more resources than we did when I first got here, but I think the proof is been in the hard work and all the guys that have been here before. Jordan Pumphrey, Isaiah Thomas, John Foster, those guys in those first couple years. But we've had a lot of guys that come in, they buy into what we want to do. And I'm just very fortunate that we've been able to collect some pretty good talent. It makes it easy to get those guys to buy in. So
AD John McHenry and the way he's leading that program, bring it to that next level. As you were mentioning, it's amazing to see the transition and transformation of where all the programs at Cerro Coso is headed. Right. Once again, we are joined by head coach Chris Dugan, who's entering his sixth year, getting his 100th win this past weekend. Well, two games this weekend, right? You had a win against Victor Valley on Saturday. And then Palo Verde on Wednesday, bringing to that 100th win. As you know, anything they say, anything that is successful, what would you say is the one thing that you've done well in order to get those 100 wins?
I think hard work. It's as simple
Mhm.
as that. I just think it's in my DNA. I was a JUCO product,
Mhm.
and obviously moving on to the 4 year level. But that's what it's been. I think the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Mhm.
Uh, I think it's in the way that we play, it's in the way that we coach. Um, and anything I ask my players, my student athletes to do, I did as a junior college player at the 4 year level when I had an opportunity to work on staff. But that's what it is, and I'm not going to ask them to do something I haven't done,
Of course.
nothing outrageous. But that's what I think it is hard work. And it's a grind at this level. JUCO, limited resources. There's the haves and have nots in all of the state of California. We just drove about 4 and a half, 5 hours to Palo Verde. We did it in buses. We
Mhm.
don't get a charter bus. We leave at 7 o'clock at night. We get back at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mhm.
So, um, just that's the key to ingredient, man. And I think it's just in my DNA, how I grew up. My mom instilled that into me as a young age, just as a player, just kind of have a chip on my shoulder, kind of tell myself that I was never good enough. And that's why I'm just really adamant on my players about, giving them freedom. If they work hard, they come in every day with a positive mindset. They want to
Mhm.
get better. They want to have a growth mindset. That's what I think is really important at this level. As coaches, we spend a lot of time coaching, more effort, energy compared to at the 4 year level. You don't. Those guys are
Sure.
already established, great character, good grades. They're doing what they need to do. And there's more coaching at this level. You spend about 75% of that time coaching those things.
Mhm.
And if they didn't do those things, they wouldn't be at the community college level. And I like it. I enjoy it. All my mentors that came before me that taught me a lot. I worked for Rusty Smith for 5 years, a legendary Hall of Fame coach. Rich Hughes was a big impact on my life. So all the things that they taught me, instilled in me, those are all things I try and pass along to my players. So.
Absolutely. Those are all important words. I mean, like I said, it's definitely a grind. And, that's where I was actually going to lead to that next question as far as, your experience over at San Jose State and when you're coaching, nothing's ever really easy, right? As you had mentioned, everything is a grind. And I think
Yeah.
you touched on it as far as what are the biggest differences between a 4-year school versus a JUCO program, and also the time that you kind of have to move a little bit on fast forward, because compared to 4-year universities where you typically have these athletes for 4 years, you have 1, maybe 2 years with these athletes, and you have to go into a faster mode, right? Um,
Yeah.
Hey, you've held a lot of different positions. Learning more about you, anywhere from operations to player development to stat analysis, and future Hall of Famer NBA head coach Eric Spoelstra even dabbled in film, right? Film creation, film probably cutting up and splicing up. Do you think being able to do a lot of these things, and seeing all the things that need to happen behind the scene makes you a better and stronger coach?
Yeah, I think, one, being humble, and it's my job to serve the student athletes, and being at a variety of different levels. I think it's just my DNA. I come from a very humble background. And so it's never bothered me. I'm 34 years old. I barely got my first full-time job. I had been a coach for 10 years. I was an unpaid video coordinator. I was assistant coach at College Sequoias for 5 years. My base salary was $4,000. I was a part-time coach here for 5 years before I was able to get full-time. And so I think one is having a humble nature. We go on the road. We don't have equipment manager. Just experiencing everything. You're
Yeah.
driving the vans, you're washing, you're uploading your film, you're doing your own stats. We don't have a stat crew. I'm worried. I'm setting the camera up sometimes, and I just thought it's just what it is, right? It's just the nature
Yeah.
of beats at our level. And I think it's good as a coach to be versed in a lot of different things. So obviously got my start as a video coordinator. I played in junior college at Allen Hancock, and I wanted to keep playing, but at the same time, I wanted to get in coaching. And my JUCO guys had some JUCO connections there, and so I was able to go there. And originally, my intent was I was just going to go be a team manager, because everyone said at that time I wanted to be a Division I coach, and so it was either, hey, you got to be a really good Division I player, which I was not, or you had to go be a team manager. And then it just kind of fell into some places where they needed a guy. I was able to walk on for a year, kind of got me going and invest. They knew I was a hard worker. And then I had the opportunity to be a team manager for a couple of years. My job in the scout, or helping, Adrian Oliver rebound, get his shots up, helping Justin Grant, Keith Schamberger. So just went from being like a player on the team to being a team manager, water, wiping the floor, cleaning the floor, helping our director of ops. And then obviously the opportunity to become a video coordinator, start splicing film, understanding the game. I always thought I was extremely knowledgeable as a player. And I had to be, just because I wasn't blessed with athletic ability, but I just understood. I was tough nosed. I was hardworking. And so I had to understand the game. And as a video guy, I spent a lot of time with my assistant coach, Brent Davis, really worked with him, understanding. And then going to College of Sequoias, thought I knew what it meant to be assistant coach, had no idea what it meant to be a coach.
Yeah.
Worked for Rusty Smith, and anyone in the state of California knows Rusty as a legendary coach. He coached Division I, Division II, College Sequoias for 17 years, Hall of Fame, moved multiple guys on Division I level. So I always tell my players is every single year I come back, I'm going to be a better coach than what I was the year before. And I take pride in my craft. I think sometimes there's guys at this level that don't continue to grow. Maybe they've been doing it for a long time, but I want to continue to get better. I think that's what I need to do for my student athletes, because we're telling them, hey, you need to grow from year 1 to year 2. And so it's trying to be an encyclopedia every year. I think I've gotten better. My assistant coach makes fun of me. He thinks I'm very soft now. I just think I'm a little bit smarter and a little bit more knowledgeable than I was the first years of coaching, just because at 27, I had no idea what I was doing. It's always a lot different when you move over 18 inches to go be the head coach. All the issues arrive at your doorstep. Coaching's easy, like in the sense of X's and O's. That's not hard. It's all the other stuff. It's managing. It's trying to get guys to buy in. It's academics. There's work study, or there's so many factors that go in that people do not think what it means to be a head coach, especially at this level. And I think I think being a community college, a junior college assistant head coach, I think it's a great value to have for when you go to the next level. I think there's a lot of guys at this level that could be really good for your coaches
Mhm.
because they can maximize their budget, whether it's recruiting or being able to evaluate or player development. Perry Webster's a really successful coach. He'll probably get a chance to be a Division I coach someday. Justin LeBau's won a whole bunch of guys or won a bunch of games, moved guys onto the next level. And so I think those things of being able to maximize your joint, you want to squeeze that limit as dry as possible. And especially at Cerro Coso, where we have extreme limited resources. I mean, John McHenry does a great job for us in the men's basketball program. We have a great team room, we have a great facility, but at the same time, we're still a school that I
Mhm.
tell people, hey, we're Cerro Coso, we're in Ridgecrest, and they go, where is that? Or there's people in the state of California, like, oh, you guys are all right. And then you look at our record in last year, it's like, well, we've won 70% of our games.
Mhm.
And so it's continue to building a brand. I think we're knocking on the door what we can be. And so I'm just excited about the opportunity. So,
Coach, last question for you. We have to talk about the current season. Currently at 20-4, 10-2 in the conference, jammed at the top alongside Chafee, Mount San Jacinto, and a big game tomorrow, right? Saturday against San Bernardino Valley College. Previously falling to San Bernardino Valley College 80-68, and a good time to kind of get a little revenge on them. But hey, what's it going to take for Cerro Coso to come up on top this season?
yeah, well, I mean, it all starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow, but also there's that game at the end of the season, the last game on the let me look here on my notes. On the 23rd of February is the last game of the season, regular season against Chafee. What's it going to take for you guys to get on top here?
Yeah, well, obviously tomorrow.
Yeah.
The championship has gone through San Bernardino
Mhm.
the last 2 years, even the year before, they're really good. So that'll be a really tough game. Obviously, we had a bad taste in our mouth to go into their place, blowing a 17-point lead. Obviously, we could have been in the driver's seat. Before that, none of the top four teams had won on the road. So it starts tomorrow. We just got to handle business. We got to come ready to play. Be ready for the physicality, be ready just to compete. They're a good ball club. They're coached really well. They're going to play hard. They have good players. And so tomorrow, I think we need a little bit of help in a sense of we would have to win out to win a conference championship to be at 14-2. Chafee would have to lose to San Jacinto to drop into another game, but there's a variety of different ways that can play out. If San Jacinto beats Chafee and then we beat Chafee, we would be a co-champion with Mount San Jacinto. If Mount San Jacinto beats Chafee and Chafee beats us, I think they would still be a co-champion, those two. So there's a lot of different things that can happen. I don't really want to get too caught up in that in the sense of just next game. There's, Copper Round after that. There's College or Desert, but it's something you do look at. 2 years ago, we had a really good team, and I never in my mind said we would have a chance to compete for a league championship because
Mhm.
there's the haves and have-nots.
Sure.
I don't think we should ever be competing for a league championship when it comes to resources with Chafee and San Bernardino and even San Jacinto. And so for us to even have an opportunity to do that, I don't want to waste that opportunity just because it's really hard to be competitive. And, you look at the top four teams in our league, they're really, really good. I think we could have two teams. For sure, I think one team in our conference is going to make Elite Eight. I think two teams can. Chafee's really good. San Jacinto, they're really, really good. San Bernardino could go win games. They went back to back. So I'm cherishing the moment. At the same time, I don't want to look ahead. So.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I thank you for your time. Once again, congratulations on the 100th win and many more to go. I'm sure we'll be talking the next couple of days here, next couple of with these very, very important coming games. And good luck tomorrow, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Chris. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.